What's up, everyone? So I'm back with another video review here. These are ankle compression sleeves. I'm not sure which word comes first. I think it's ankle compression sleeves from Nordic Lifting. Thank you to Nordic Lifting. Somebody contacted me from them offering me a pair of these for free. Well, basically they just wanted me to do to do a review for them, and I agreed. So I like this kind of equipment anyways, and doing reviews really isn't that hard for me, so I said why not. I want to try them out. One thing about that though, let's talk about that for a minute here. In terms of reviewers receiving product for free, so it's something to consider and keep in mind when you're looking at reviews, whether it's like shoes or other products, whatever it is, electronics and other clothing items. I think receiving them for free definitely affects the review. Just in the sense that you're not paying for it, so, and these people have relationships with connections and people, contacts inside the business, inside the company, getting them the product for free. So maybe they don't want to say certain things that are going to rub them the wrong way or offend them. They might choose their words a little bit differently. It's very different from somebody who just a normal person and goes into the store and pays out of pocket a full price or a discounted price, but paying out of pocket for them. Obviously, I think those people's attitudes and expectations will be very, very different from each other. So that's one thing to consider. People make royalties if you shop at certain places through their links and so on. Even Yelp, for instance, I read recently, like starting last year, Yelp started changing. They have the power to change ratings for places in exchange for money from that business, which kind of defeats the purpose of Yelp to begin with. I guess you could say they sold out. So I'm not saying like reviewers are doing anything like that. Some of them might be, I don't know, but just something to keep in mind and consider. Also, there are companies that offer they want to see good reviews and they'll straight up give free product. Like a lot of restaurants will do that, where you go in and you show them your phone that shows you gave them a 5-star review, and they'll just give you like a free item off the menu or something like that. So you guys know what I mean. So how that relates to my review on these, I will discuss in a kind of a summary for this, maybe in the middle or towards the end of the video. I'll bring that up again. So just something to keep in mind, I think, when we're watching reviews or looking at products, whatever they may be. So again, these are from Nordic Lifting. Okay, and they're made in China. I always think it's so funny when companies list, like, they say things like Team USA or like Go America or Nordic Lifting or but then it's just like made in China or made in Honduras or something like that. I don't know, for some reason I find that to be kind of amusing. So this is the package they come in. Nothing fancy, it's just a kind of a plastic feeling box, really thin plastic. They have a website, nordiclifting.com, which is still pretty basic. I just checked it out. They only have like 3 or 4 products on there. It's like lifting straps and stuff like that. But these are their ankle sleeves for compression. $15 a pair on Amazon. Pay no attention to the retail price. The retail price listed there is insane. It's like $55, or the original price I should say. It's like $55. I don't get why Amazon does that or why the sellers do that, but I would not pay anywhere near that for these. These are $15 shipped, so pretty cheap overall. The description on the back, sizing, I wear a size 9.5, 10 in most shoes, and I got a medium in these, and they fit pretty good. It's just kind of just the standard plastic packaging, nothing special about it really, which is fine for me. On the back, it's kind of what I use it for. I use it primarily for the warming effect and for recovery, which I'll get into in a second here. But you can see some details there about avoiding injury and increasing performance, ergonomic fit. I wouldn't call these ergonomic unless my understanding of that word is off. I thought ergonomic meant specifically to like left and right. It says specifically shaped for optimal ankle joint movement. So I guess it is ergonomic in some senses, but these aren't specific to left and right. Like they're pretty much interchangeable. Let me zoom out there. Just the tag placement is different. So I've worn both of them, switched them up on both ankles, and they felt exactly the same. They're pretty much identical. So your toes going through here. This is the top. Your toes going through here, and then here's where your heel would be. So right, that's kind of what they look like. In terms of the materials, I checked on their website on Amazon. The only thing I could find was, I think it said like nylon yarn. I'm not sure what the percentage is. There's also spandex and latex yarn, but it doesn't give you the numbers or anything like that as far as I can tell on the labels, the packaging, websites. So nylon yarn, spandex, and latex yarn. That's the materials that they're made out of. So what do I use it for? I use it primarily, like I said, for warming up and recovery. So my left Achilles has some tightness recently, and I use that to warm up before games, keep that area warm, and also after working out or after games, just putting that thing on and relaxing or stretching with it on. So in terms of recommendations, and like I was saying, I received this for free, and what's my opinion on that based on that situation? It's kind of complicated, but I did have a product similar to this before I was offered this pair, a Nike Pro Combat ankle sleeve. I got this to keep the ankle compressed and to deal with that Achilles tightness. So if I didn't have this, so I want to try to explain this very, very carefully. If I didn't have this product, I didn't have anything similar to these, then I would definitely look into getting a pair of these. I probably would after trying them, just in terms of how they work, right? How well they work. But since I do have this, and knowing what these are like, I wouldn't say that I would go out and get a pair if I didn't have these, because I already had this one and they do pretty similar things. So that's kind of where I stand. But if I didn't have this or anything similar, and I was looking for something to keep that area warm and compressed, then I would definitely look into getting a pair of these. One thing I will say, like I said, I don't use it only for warm-ups and recovery. I don't really like the feeling that it creates in the arch of my foot. So, and as well as the Nike Pro, this goes for this sleeve as well, no matter what kind of product it is for me, apparently. It creates a very tight feeling in the arch of my foot. It gets very, very uncomfortable after extended periods. Especially if I'm running or playing a sport. Now, again, if I'm just walking around or just sitting around, it's no problem. I can keep it on for a while. But in terms of playing basketball with them, I wouldn't recommend that for me personally. It just gets really, really tight under the arch of the foot, like right under this area here on the inside of the foot. So I played basketball in this one for about 2 hours. And I wore it on the way home, on the drive home. My foot was just, I wanted to pull over and yank it off. It was so uncomfortable. And my foot, for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure it's because the muscle's trying to expand and stretch, and this is restricting that from happening. My foot was, just aching for like the next day or two. So I would not recommend these personally for anything more than light running. I did run about a mile and a half in these, and it was fine. They do a good job of staying tight and staying on and staying where you want them to. But again, for long-term, really extensive exercise and movement, I really, really would avoid wearing something like this. But like lightweight lifting, squats, leg stuff, lunges and that kind of thing, I think it's completely fine, and light running. But again, for extensive periods of a lot of activity, I would not recommend them. Okay, so I hope that was pretty clear in just where I stand in terms of how I feel about these. Again, if I didn't have anything at all that was like this, I would definitely consider a pair of these. It's only $15 on Amazon, and for me personally, it helps with my warm-up and recovery. But since I had this one already, and if you have something similar like this, then I don't know if I would go out of my way to get a pair of these. That's kind of where I stand. All right, that's pretty much it for this particular product. I'm probably not going to do a basketball shoe review for a while, just because I'm happy with my rotation and I have enough shoes as it is. I'll probably do a couple of videos based on that, talking about my rotation, and for me personally, my priorities are changing. I don't really, before I would have been like trying to try every basketball shoe that comes out, and I gotta try this one, I gotta try that one and see what this one's like, or this one's gonna give me an edge, or this one's gonna help me out. But now it's more like I just want to go out there and play in what I have and enjoy what I have, and not be so caught up in like doing research on shoes. I just think we spend too much time looking at shoes basically, and not enough time actually exercising and playing and practicing and stuff like that. So maybe a couple of videos related to that later on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.